has granted interim relief to LoP Rahul Gandhi, staying the proceedings in a defamation case filed over his remarks against the Indian Army during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. But the relief came with a sharp rebuke. Well, a bench which is led by Justice Dipankar Datta issued notices to the Uttar Pradesh government and petitioner Uday Shankar Srivastava. While putting the lower court proceedings on hold for now, the bench has sought responses within 3 weeks. But at the heart of the case was Rahul Gandhi's claim during his yatra that Chinese troops had beaten up Indian soldiers in Galwan. Well, the Supreme Court took serious objection. In fact, it had said, how did you arrive at the figure of 2,000 square kilometers which are occupied by China? What documents back this claim? The Supreme Court asked Rahul Gandhi. In fact, it also went on to say that a true Indian would not make such statements. Also asked Justice Dipankar Datta, in fact, the fact that the court had asked why such comments were made on social media in the first place. The Supreme Court had asked bluntly, just because you have the right to free speech under Article 19, does that mean that you can say anything? Rahul Gandhi's lawyer, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, then defended Rahul Gandhi, saying, if the leader of opposition can't raise these questions, who can? So while Rahul Gandhi gets a breather from legal proceedings, the Supreme Court has sent a clear message to him by saying, if you really, as the LoP of Lok Sabha, want to raise these issues in the Parliament. So Supreme Rep coming in for the LoP. Let me go across to Dipankar, who's joining us with all the details. Dipankar, you must start with the stinging criticism which is coming in by Rahul Gandhi. Of course, it's important for us to point out that there is relief as well coming in from the courts for Rahul Gandhi, but also a rap.
Well, yes, the Supreme Court has criticized Rahul Gandhi and has said that why has he made these posts on social media regarding this 2,000 square kilometers being acquired by China, and why has he, from where has he got these credible material on which he is making this claim. These were serious questions that were raised by the top court to the Rahul Gandhi, and as the Supreme Court also said that why can't you ask these questions in Parliament, and just because that you have freedom under the 19(1)(a), that is freedom of speech that is guaranteed under the Constitution of India, you cannot just go on and say anything. So these were credible questions, and these were very stinging questions that were asked by the top court to Rahul Gandhi while granting him a relief, granting him a breather, and staying the proceedings that were going on in the trial court in the lower courts of Uttar Pradesh, and has also sought a reply on the petition that was moved by Rahul Gandhi seeking quashing of the defamation case that was filed against him from the state of Uttar Pradesh and from the complainant, and has given a 3-week time to the complainant as well as the state of Uttar Pradesh to file a reply as to why this case should go on, and the matter should not be quashed. So we'll have to wait and watch as to what the reply comes from the state of Uttar Pradesh as well as the complainant, and we have to see as to how Rahul Gandhi would react to these questions that were raised by the top court of the country. Over to you.
One of the interesting ones, Dipankar, there was, yes, you're the LoP, when Abhishek Manu Singhvi said he has every right to raise questions. Then the Supreme Court also said, raise these questions in the Parliament. Don't come to the courts and say it.
Well, yes, it is very interesting that the Supreme Court has pointed out that these questions shall be raised in Parliament and not on social medias or places where people where an alleged defamation case that can be filed against Rahul Gandhi. And just Article 19(1)(a), that is the freedom of speech article, does not provide any kind of safety to Rahul Gandhi to go on and speak anything about the Indian military. Similar question was also raised, similar points were also raised while the High Court of Uttar Pradesh, that is the Allahabad High Court, was hearing this matter, where it had also said that freedom of speech does not guarantee Rahul Gandhi to say anything about the Indian military. So these are very stinging remarks that the top court as well as the lower courts in the earlier hearing has raised against Rahul Gandhi.
Well, very interesting developments which are coming in from the Supreme Court. Just to remind our viewers the kind of stinging observations which are coming in from the Supreme Court, let's tell you. One of the things that the Supreme Court said is that a true Indian would have never said this. Can you imagine? This is the leader of opposition who's being told that a true Indian would never have made a statement such as this, that our own braves were clobbered by the Chinese, and they managed to wrest away 2,000 square kilometers of Indian land. These kind of claims, not only was the veracity of the claim questioned by the Supreme Court, also what the Supreme Court had said is that how can you go ahead and make statements like this, because this is misuse of the powers of freedom which have been given, the free speech right which has been given in the Constitution. In fact, it very categorically also said that if you're the leader of opposition, feel free to raise these questions in the Lok Sabha, where he is the leader of opposition, but not here in the courts. In fact, these were stinging rebuttals which were given by the Supreme Court.